Hey guys, so we reached 10K, and to show my gratitude to you, because of course you made all this happen, I'm going to give away 2 free readings. Each are going to be 15 minutes long. And if you would like to enter the draw for that, then what I'm asking you to do is to like any video from now until September 15th. And also in the comments section, include your favorite quote. Okay, it could be your own words, it could be a quote from somebody else. I thought it'd be fun to do it this way so we could all kind of learn new quotes. I don't know, sometimes it's nice to hear other people's words of wisdom. Okay, so like any video or all the videos, because that really helps. And then include your favorite quote or a quote that maybe you feel resonates for you at that time. And September 15th, I will pick, from a bowl. I'll write all your quotes out. I'll pick it from a bowl, the 2 winners, and I'll announce it in a separate video. Okay, so today I want to do a pick a card. I was kind of going back and forth. Should I do an all signs? Should I do one collective reading? I thought I haven't done a pick a card in a while. So that's what we're going to do. And as you can see from the title, the spread is called Tune Into a Higher Frequency. So how can you connect to a higher frequency? So here are the 3 objects. Number 1 is, so pick which one resonates with you, and then I'll shuffle the cards after and pull them out. Atomic Fireball. It's a little candy. Okay, that's number 1. A Worry Doll. You put these under your pillow, and it's supposed to help if you're worried when you go to bed. Okay, so number 2 is a worry doll. Number 3 is this Dragonfly brooch. Okay, so number 1, the fireball. Let's see what we have for you for how you can turn in your higher frequency. Tune into your higher frequency. Wow. Okay, let's see here. How can you tune into your higher frequency? Well, first we have the Hierophant, which is represented as the wise one in this deck. So this requires learning, but I'm getting learning from family, ancestors, and this doesn't mean you have to speak to them, although it could, but more looking at your lineage, looking at your history. What have the relationships been in your family's history? Where does your family come from? What is the history of that region? Okay, that's going to be really important, is to connect. I'm seeing to spiritually connect with your lineage and your bloodline. If you don't know your bloodline, then think about where you are most called to in the world and do some history research, I heard, on that particular space. Very interesting. So there's something about studying and learning here about where you come from. And maybe this is so that you can break a generational curse, or maybe this is so you can continue on with your family's path, and your mission. It could be that there's a mission in your bloodline that is being that you're meant to carry out here. How can you open yourself to a greater capacity for light? Well, we have the Devil card, and I actually love this for this position, because this tells me that whoever chose this pile, you are super strong, okay? And you are strong enough to work with the dark, okay? So working with the light, opening yourself up to a greater capacity of receiving light energy, in this case, requires you also to familiarize yourself with the dark. And that doesn't mean like do anything, bad or anything like that. It means more of look at the shadow aspects within yourself, within others, and the world, I heard, at large. And really tune into this frequency so that you can differentiate between devil energy and light energy. For some of you, there have been some tricksters along the way, perhaps in your midst now, who have posed as light energy. Or who have brought you dark energy that tried to convince you that you did not have light inside of you. Wow. Okay, so there's something about getting familiar with this dark energy that's going to be really important. And I think it's super interesting that you picked atomic fireball because once you can work with the dark and then the light, or, you know, which is usually the case, right? Usually you experience the dark and then you experience the light. It's not to say that it can't go the other way, but there's a strength here that you have by mastering the two or familiarizing yourself with the two. It's like you're becoming this fireball of energy. And I'm hearing spitball. It's like you're able to spitball in discussion or between energies to kind of bring people or subjects or places or times, I'm even hearing, to a middle point. Wow. So for some of you, you would do really well as a counselor, as a mediator, some kind of guidance role, okay? Because you're able to see both sides. Yeah. And allow them to have a conversation with one another. This could even be energetically. This is really cool. I heard Libra, like, so it's like that Libra energy, I guess. Okay. How can you perceive higher dimensional energy? Look at this picture here. That's so cool. It's the Knight of Wands. Here's that fireball again. But look, he's looking onto these little people or characters. They don't look human, but in his hand here. And I think that's the message here. How can you perceive higher frequencies is to know that you hold them in your hand. And I'm actually feeling like the energy here. I heard Reiki, okay? So it might be interesting for you to look at Reiki, do some research around hand healing, mudras maybe. But there's like, I don't even want to drop the ball. I don't, because I can feel the ball here, right? So there's something about knowing that that energy, in order to perceive it, you must know that it emanates from within you and it is also in your hand. And I'm seeing it again as a ball, right? Like this ball. And then you can like throw it and catch other balls at the same time. This is really neat. Okay, cool. Anything else there? I'm hearing, know that higher vibrational energy, well, I heard it doesn't always come in human form, but it's like not always what you think. There are things you'll come across, situations that will generate energy, or people in your environment, or whatever the case. Could even be animals, okay? I heard animal, an eldest animal. Okay, but not in age and spirit. Interesting. I don't know if you know what that means. Maybe that an animal around you that has a certain maturity level. Okay, but there's something around you or in a situation that has a really high vibration, but you might not see it as such. And I'm getting that this, whatever this thing is, you don't see it negatively either. It's just kind of a neutral to you. It could even be like a place in your house, a room in your house, a particular space at your work, you know, it could be anything. A neutral kind of energy that you are around, a friend or somebody at work potentially that has, I heard, shamanistic abilities to tell you something. Yeah. Okay, that's very cool. So pay attention. What should they do then? Well, I heard fantastical. Allow your imagination to kind of lead the way in a childlike sense. And I'm getting the image of like fairies in the forest, right? It's like start believing in those possibilities, that there's things out of sight for most people that you can feel, higher vibrational things. This could even be like attuning yourself to nature. Okay. A subconscious energy that is trying to hold you down. We have the Death card. This could be someone you're dealing with, perhaps a Scorpio here. But if that's not the case, it could be your own scorpionic energy if you're a Scorpio. But it is that concept of death and transformation here. And I'm hearing you have to die first before you transform. There's something about wanting to skip the death process and just going straight to transformation. That fireball, right? Like shooting through that. But first you need to experience the death aspect, of course, metaphorically. And I'm also hearing don't die, metaphorically, right? In order to transform. Don't end something just for the sake of transformation. It's never that easy, I heard. And I'm getting this message that transformation is rooted in whatever was there before. You have to remember that it's transformation. It's not, well, I'm hearing inculcation of something new. And see these roots here, it's like, yeah, so the death card is transforming something here, creating a transmutation of energy, but it's still rooted, it's still grounded to something, okay? So as a subconscious energy that is holding you down and creating resistance, it's the fear, okay, of letting something go. And also the fear of letting something grow in that same place and energy. That sounds really abstract, but hopefully that makes sense to you. It's like, okay, just to use an example here, it's like having a difficult breakup with someone, okay? Since most of us are familiar with that. And wanting that to end, okay, and wanting to transform and maybe meet someone new or just be on your own, just transform out of that energy, transition out of that energy. Well, first you need to let go, and that's hard in and of itself, but say you do successfully let go, you have to be comfortable with taking that energy from that difficult relationship and working with it and transforming it into the new, rather than shutting a door and walking away and looking for new energy. You're gonna carry that energy with you anyways, so you might as well stay with it for a minute and transform it. Hopefully that makes sense. In other words, I guess it's like go through the dark night of the soul, do that hard shadow work, which is in your strength here, really. Don't be afraid of those things, those aspects. Don't be afraid to take those parts of you with you that maybe you regret showing or opening up to a situation that you were vulnerable in. And now you're like, oh, I'm never going to be like that again. Don't be afraid to take those parts of you and work with them to transform them into stronger aspects, but not entirely different. Okay. How can you heal to allow proper integration of higher dimensional energy? How can you heal? The moon in reverse. This one's deep. Whoever chose pile 1, this is super deep. Okay, this is like difficult work. There's clearly something that's, serious that's gone on in your life. It doesn't have to be recently. It could be any aspect of your life at any time. But there's something that needs to be worked through here because there's energy waiting to be transformed into this higher vibrational frequency for you. This is like the work, what I'm seeing here, this is the work that any person on a spiritual quest must go through. And I heard ayahuasca, okay, and it doesn't matter if that's your thing or not, but it's like experiencing all the pain, and the difficult things coming up before you can feel a sense of release and freedom. So, how can you heal to allow proper integration? It's like bringing everything out of the shadows, going into that subconscious space, doing dream work, doing symbol work, talking to the trees. I heard talking to the trees and the leaves. Making spiritual connections out loud. This is actually really beautiful. Knowing you have this energy, this fireball energy, And because you have this fireball energy, you're going to have to be very sure about what frequency it's operating in here. And that's why this reading is coming through like all of this work that is difficult and hard needs to be done. But after that, oh man, pow, right? A message from the divine. I saw 1511 there. The 10 of Cups. Look, once you take your own hand and lead yourself down the path of happiness, take Spirit's hand, take all of this stuff, you know, and work with it, you're headed towards pure happiness here. Pure bliss. The divine wants to show you, if you're in a bad place right now, or you're in a difficult place, or maybe there's just shit about yourself that you'd rather not think about, you'd rather not look at. Okay, like maybe you were in therapy and you stopped going to therapy because you don't really want to talk about something that maybe you've been doing, right? Stuff like that. You know, do that work. It's like there's something that needs to be done here that you're putting off. Because what the divine wants to give you is this, 10 of Cups. A sense of fulfillment and happiness and joy and completion and potentially partnership. So if you're in that darker space or you're feeling like, I don't know if I did something right, is my karma all screwed up because of what I did? All of those kinds of questions, which you should be asking if you are doing shadow work. There should be that question like, I think I might have some karmic debts now. Most of us do. Pretty much all of us do. Okay? So identifying those, knowing those, and coming to terms with them is part of raising yourself up to a higher vibration and connecting with a higher frequency. Yeah, because it's something about like not being able to recognize true happiness until you've worked through all of this other stuff. Okay, pile one. I love that so much. I love you. Okay, what do we have? Pile number 2, the worry doll. I want to read the back here. It says, people from a land far away believe that before you go to bed at night, you tell your worries to your doll. Place the doll under your pillow. When you wake in the morning, your worries are all gone. Okay, so if you chose this, you either just think that worry doll's super cute, or maybe you actually have some worries. But let's see what the divine has to tell you about tuning into a higher frequency. Let me get 6 cards here. No reversals. I'm doing no reversals because it's too hard for me to shuffle, bridge shuffle with my fingers, so no reversals this time. Wow, this is powerful. Okay. How can you tune into a higher frequency? The awakening, which is judgment. Well, you've come to the end of the road with something, I heard. The end of the line. You are standing before a higher power here, okay? You are being judged at this time. Yeah, but it's a little intimidating. I am feeling an intimidation here. I don't know if you feel that, but there is that in the energy here. So know that you're at a point, okay? You're on the precipice of something. You're at that final stage. You're there, okay? You're at a threshold. And so if you have been feeling worry and anxiety, particularly before you go to bed, it's potentially because you are connecting in your dreams or on astral, to a greater source of awakening. So know that you are in very close contact right now with Source. So let's see what else Source has to say here. How can you open yourself up for a greater capacity for life? 10 of Cups. Gratitude and enjoy the things you have right now. That's what I got. Okay, so this could be people in your world that you appreciate. Doesn't have to be. If you feel like you don't have a lot of people. I heard 10 cats. I don't know, okay? Maybe someone out there has 10 cats. or something, or watching videos of 10 cats. I don't know. 10 energies, I heard. 10. I heard count them. 10 energies, count them. And these don't have to be people or animals. These could be places in your life, memories that you have, golden memories that you have. There's 10 of them. Count them and show them gratitude. This is really cool. So how can you open yourself up to a greater light? It's like, enjoy your blessings that you have right now. No matter what hardship you're going through, you have a blessing. Multiple, 10, I think, you know, and these could be like really small things. Memories seem to be important, you know. Be thankful and grateful of the positive, good memories that you have throughout your life. Yeah. And also really enjoy happiness as you experience it in the now. And this is really important with the worry doll, right? It's like staying present. And I'm just noticing here, like, you know, it's made out of string here. So he's kind of bound here. And look at the next card is the devil, bound up. So it looks kind of the same, doesn't it? So the worry doll is kind of like the devil here. And the devil is worry energy. It is energy that keeps you stuck worrying and in a place of anxiety. Yeah. So if you place those devil energies underneath your pillow at night here and wake up in the morning, your worries are gone. It's like sending off that devil energy back to where it belongs. Like it doesn't belong to you. Okay, there's some kind of attachment maybe you have to someone or something that's creating an anxiety that isn't yours, which is important for you to know. And that's why Spirit's telling you that what you need to do right now is 10 of Cups, because this is your true energy. And I feel like for some of you, you're really taking on the responsibilities of that devil energy. It's like somebody needs to step up in some way or a situation, but you're holding the weight for them. You're taking on too much of the blame in a situation. Yeah, you're allowing that energy to bind you unnecessarily, okay? I heard Cancer. Okay, it's like a Cancerian energy of caretaking in the shadow aspect where it becomes to your own detriment. Okay? So this card, this position is how can I perceive a higher dimensional energy? And I think it's like, look at the things that make you worry. Look at the worries of others and how it affects them. And that will allow you to perceive how different your energy really is. Some of you are doing kind of energy work with something, and you need to cleanse other people's energies off of you. There's also something about grounding here, needing to ground. And you know, that comes out often, right? Like readers say that all the time. And so it can seem like just something to say, but there's something really important here. I heard word games, okay? Grounding through word, and I'm seeing like a crossword puzzle. I don't know. It's basically grounding is anything that brings you into the present moment, that focuses you into whatever it is you're doing right now. Like drawing can be a grounding experience if you're an artist, or any kind of art you do, right? Even painting a wall can be a grounding experience. It just focuses you into the here and now, into the senses, okay? So that's important in order to perceive light. There's too much going on in the mental space here. Okay. A subconscious energy that is holding you down. The sun. I feel like this is super high expectations for yourself. Or the belief that you should have, you know, this fantastical life that's not realistic. But for most of you, it's you have really high expectations for yourself. Maybe even a perfectionist. And you need to let go of that. Like, imperfection can be beautiful. Yeah, I heard no assimilation. Don't try to fit in. And also, it's interesting. It's like, don't try to fit in with the crowd, but also don't try to shine brighter than the crowd. Accept that you are as unique as everybody else in the crowd, and that way you'll understand how everyone's connected. Wow. Okay, so interesting. Understand that we're all unique to different degrees, right? And if somebody has an expectation on you of who you should be, how you should act, how you should speak, what you should do, what you should write, whatever the case, you know, how you should be in love with someone, that's their unique energy. Oh, I almost bit my tongue there. Energy and perspective. I feel like biting your tongue might be a good thing right now. Okay? It doesn't mean that you don't say what you feel and all of these things. It's just to know when to hold back and let that person shine if they want to shine. Because if they're shining in a way you disapprove of, you know, that's their problem, right? It's gonna, you know, if maybe what they're doing, I don't know where this reading is going, it's taking a weird turn, but it's like, if somebody's doing something here that you don't agree with, and you think it's bad, morally, ethically, not serving the greatest good, let that person do whatever they're gonna do, because that's gonna be their awakening. You know, that's part of their path. Also, don't try to live up to anybody else and how they're doing things, because you don't really know what's going on in the background. Okay? That was an interesting message there, Cancer. Cancer. Oh, group 2. There's something very important about a Cancer here. Or Cancer season. Let's get one more on that. Subconscious energy. Ace of Wands in reverse. Yeah, it's like expecting everything, but also expecting nothing. I really think it's having high expectations for yourself, or it's like caring too much what other people think, other people's validation with the Six of Wands here. Yeah. All right. Hopefully that made sense there. That's very interesting about the Cancer energy. You know, we have all signs in our chart, so, you know, if you're not a Cancer, it doesn't really mean that this reading is not for you if you've been resonating so far. You might want to look at where Cancer is in your chart. What house does Cancer rule for you? That could be very significant. You know, if you have Cancer in the 3rd house, that could be about your communication style. You know, 10th house, your public persona, all of these things. So it could be significant for you. Okay. How can you heal to allow proper integration of higher dimensional energy? 4 of Wands. Create a sense of structure and security for yourself in whatever way that means. This is that grounding energy again. It's also celebrating yourself, celebrating who you are. Some of you need to bake a cake, okay? Some of you need to bake a cake and celebrate yourself. You know, I mean, it could be a healthy cake, I guess, if you want. You can make a zucchini cake. I don't know. Whatever. It's like celebrate yourself. Put a candle on it, though. Really, I'm hearing, put a candle on something and make a wish. Remember that energy that you have inside of you. You're at the precipice, okay? And it's really important that you raise your own vibration right now, because I feel like you're ready to pass the threshold here, but there's a lot of worry holding you back. Some of you are worried about something being exposed, okay? And that's gnawing at you, I heard. Gnawing. I heard, and screw that. Deal with the consequences if and when they come. Interesting. Or you're thinking about exposing someone else. Could be that too, right? Yeah. And it's creating unnecessary worry. And like I said before, let them live their path and they'll have their own karma to answer to, you know? It's, okay, I'm getting this message. I think your reading's been the longest. It's their karma that you, and I don't know what this is about, okay? But translate it as you need it. And this might not be for you. But it's their karma for you not to watch them get their karma. It's like you're not even part of the audience anymore. You not seeing them get their karma is good karma for you. You don't have to be subjected to that energy space. It's like you're totally shielded from that. Remember that. So if you don't see what's going on, that's a good thing. It's a blessing. It's allowing you to focus on what is good for you. Okay. What the divine wants to tell you, a message for you, Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is my favorite queen, my favorite court card, because she's so magical and she gets a bad rep a lot, right? Bad reputation in the tarot world sometimes. But that's because people are intimidated of her power, okay? I'm just speaking generally here. I'm not talking about anybody in particular. She speaks out for the good of the public. She is a public defender. She is so beautiful on the inside. And this is what the divine wants to tell you, is how beautiful you are on the inside. And when you come before that judgment energy, you know, maybe this is the worry you're sensing because you can feel it coming up. This is how the divine sees you, as super powerful, is having that ability to ground yourself and be at peace with yourself and to do what's right, not just for yourself, but for others as well. And this all goes back to that message of let other people walk their path. You cannot solve anybody's karma for them. You know, some of you were dealing with someone and you wanted to lift them up. You wanted to help them in their life. But that went wrong. That turned against you. Okay, and that's because that's not your job. That's not your purpose. That's theirs. And if you were to solve that and take that on, you'd actually be interfering with their lesson, which could potentially bring you bad experience, bad energy, bad karma into your life because you are interrupting and interfering with someone else's lesson. Okay? Yes. Okay. Let's do the third pile, I was going to say butterfly, interesting, the dragonfly brooch. Now, dragonflies are super cool because they kind of defy gravity and reality. It's like they fly in all different directions, okay? They can go up, down, back, forward. Maybe gravity is not the right word, but, you know, their directions are multi-dimensional. We'll say that. They are very special creatures. And I'm hearing they're familiar to children. I don't know what that means, okay? But let's see how you can tune into your higher frequency. Pile number 2. It's interesting. Am I saying pile for each of them? I don't even have a pile out. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. I heard habit. There's a habit. Okay. I feel like that's related here too to you. This energy is much different than the other two. There's a kind of like a bossy energy, which could be yours or it could be someone else's. I don't know. It's almost like I don't know, like an I don't care or something like that. Okay, let's see. I don't know if this is you or someone else. Okay. How can you turn into a higher frequency? We have the Hierophant in reverse. And it's interesting because for pile number 2, I said no reversals because I can't really shuffle right to mix it up. But for you, I just felt like I was going to use them anyways. Okay, so there is some energy here, and it could be an interfering energy with you that isn't recognizing you for who you are, or it could be your own energy interfering with yourself. But how you can tune into a higher frequency is to release control. There's something you're trying to control, an outcome you're trying to control. And maybe you are trying to figure out like all the different directions to go in. Maybe if I go backward, maybe if I go forward, or you're trying to control someone else's movements. Or someone could be trying to control that with you. Okay, I do feel like many of you are dealing with this kind of outside energy that's like, doesn't feel good. Murky, mucky, something energy. And I'm seeing like puddles with rain boots. Like it's like a childish energy, okay? Either you dealt with this in the past or you're currently dealing with it. But you need to release control. You can't control this situation anymore, more than you already are. You can't control the outcome of your life, I heard, more than you already are. You're doing what feels right and what you can right now. How can you open yourself up for a greater capacity for light? We have the 7 of Swords. You need to get real honest with yourself about something. Maybe about which direction you do want to go in, or which direction you did take. There's something you're not being honest with yourself about. Some of you are holding back doing something because you're trying to control a situation, and you're not realizing that that's not being true to yourself, whatever it is that you're doing. Some of you need to recognize the deception in others. I heard, but also in yourself, and I don't know you, so don't take this personal, right? And we all have these energies operating within us. The shadow is so strong and it operates all the time, right? You have to be like a freaking monk guru to know how to identify your shadow immediately and say, hey, wait, that's not the reality of the situation. That perception is wrong because that's coming from this wounded place in me. It's coming from a complex place in me, and to catch it before you take action with your shadow leading you, that is like high mastery, right? And maybe not always where you want to be. Sometimes the shadow can lead us to lessons that are very significant and joyous in the end, right? But it's a difficult path to get there. Yeah. Okay, so lots of us lie to ourselves all the time about things. And these could be little things like, this person doesn't love me. This person doesn't care about me. Nobody cares about me. Those kinds of thoughts, if you're having them, okay, maybe you're not. Maybe you have other thoughts like, I'm not good enough. Whatever the case is, there's some form of control in saying that it's like, okay, if I'm not good enough, then I don't have to try to do that, to go for that job. I don't have to apply for it. I'm not going to apply for it. I'm not going to submit my resume. I'm not going to the interview. I'm not calling them back. I'm not pursuing this person because you know what? I'm going to get rejected anyway, so I might as well just avoid the whole situation. What that is you trying to control the outcome of that situation by preempting the possibility of somebody else influencing it. And what the divine is saying is you need to release that. You need to work on that. And we all have that, okay? For some reason, it's like this group needed to hear it. And if it doesn't resonate, then I don't know. You could pick another pile. But to be honest with you, I don't know who this wouldn't resonate for. Which is a good thing. Because we're all in this together. Yeah. And I feel like for some of you, it is something about work, okay? Because I'm hearing something about that manager or that person has been in your shoes too. Yeah, and something about setting examples for one another. Okay, let's move on. How do you perceive your higher dimensional energy? 10 of Wands. There's two things happening here. For some of you, your own perception of your high energy, of your high vibration, your ability to connect to source, your psychic energy, all intuition, all of these things, seems to be a burden at times because you can see right through other people. Okay? And then it makes you feel what's the word I'm looking for? Disgraced. Okay, like people don't respect you, like they're lying right to your face. But this is the message I'm getting is like, are you sure you don't lie to your own face too? Maybe not like this other person or these other people, but you have to get honest with yourself in order to expect honesty from others. Was that thing you said a good thing to say? What part of yourself was that serving? Was that thing you did really coming from your higher self? Or was it your ego? Okay? So some of you perceive your intuitive abilities, your connection to source as a kind of weight. But if you can transform that energy of being able to see into other people's lies and deception, like you immediately know when somebody's not telling the truth, if you can take that same ability and turn it around to yourself, that is extremely powerful. You can even stop sometimes. I've done this and say, oh, that wasn't really coming from a good place, Andy. Ooh. You know, I'm a human, right? I have an ego. So you can stop and say, oh, I guess I was trying to serve myself there, you know, like, and just catch yourself and say, okay, well, you know, I'll be more aware of that next time. You don't have to like punish yourself, because that could be a form, I heard, of ego stroking too. Interesting. Okay, I feel like I'm lecturing you a little bit, which I don't mean to do. For some of you, how you can perceive a higher dimensional energy is also letting go, okay? Letting go of, what am I looking for? Letting go of pain, I heard. Letting go of pain. It could even be deep pain that you're feeling. I feel like drawn to pull one of these. Mixed emotions. Letting go of mixed emotions. And yeah, maybe some of you, you've had a back and forth where it's like, were they right about what they said, or was my intuition right? It was my intuition wrong, you know, and they were right? Or is it like, you know, should I trust myself? I don't trust myself, you know, and all of those questions, and my left ear just started ringing here. Okay, all of those questions, well, they just mean that you're not able to see the truth within yourself about who you are. Because once you recognize, oh, that was my shadow operating, you'll know right away who's telling the truth and who's not between you and a person, right? Like if you can't trust your intuition, like say you think, I mean, yours is a long one. Okay, say you think that, just as an example, doesn't have to be it, that person was a narcissist. Say you've come to that conclusion, like full on, I know they are. But then you have moments where you're like, you know, maybe I'm just misunderstanding it. Maybe I've been too, you know, influenced by all these YouTube videos, which definitely could be the case, right? But there's a part of you that's really saying, no, this wasn't right. This person purposely hurt me and enjoyed it. If you trust yourself to know the times you acted out in your shadow in that relationship, you will be able to see their shadow much more clearly. And then you'll be able to discern if that person acted out of malice or not, or if you maybe overreacted from a place in your shadow. Okay, that's it. Interesting. Okay, a subconscious energy that is holding you down. The Hermit. This is very Virgo energy. Okay, the Hermit's a Virgo card. It's like going through all different possibilities here in your mind of what could be, trying to gain wisdom by floating different possibilities rather than trusting your gut. Also, some of you really just need to be around other people. Yeah, because this energy is getting a little too heavy for you, I feel. Okay? How can I heal to allow proper integration of higher dimensional energy? 5 of Wands. Embrace the conflict within yourself so you can win that battle with yourself. You're only fighting yourself here, I feel like. I feel like you've been through something, okay? Multiple things perhaps. Maybe you feel fed up. You're waiting for new energy to come in. Maybe some of you are waiting for communication. Whatever the case is, it's like you need to have it out with yourself. Okay? You do. Have it out with yourself. Tell yourself off. Both sides. You know? Both sides get angry at, or however many sides you have. You know? Have it out with yourself. Because there's things I feel like you need to bring up. I also feel like you shouldn't shy away from conflict with others as well. If you don't agree with someone, I think it's okay to say that. Don't let anybody else control your energy through intimidation, is what I'm getting. And once you work with all this shadow stuff, you know, you see like the parts of you that have the potential to manipulate, that have the potential to lie, that have the potential to do all these things that somebody else maybe has done to you. Doesn't mean you do them, but of course you have the potential, right? If you get familiar with those aspects of yourself and how they come about or how they operate or what they feel like, then anybody who tries to battle you and come at you and intimidate you, you're not going to fear, because you're going to know your capacity to fight back. You're going to know your own strength. You're going to know that you can do what it takes to protect yourself, because you know all of the parts of yourself, including the darker aspects. This has been a kind of current theme throughout the readings, but yours is definitely the harshest. Okay? And that just means that you can take it, right? Okay. A message from the divine is the 8 of Cups in reverse. Why haven't you walked away from something? That's what I heard. I heard shattered glass here. Okay, there's you may have actually walked away from something, death, but it has to end. There has to be an ending here for this transformation to take place. You have to let go of control. You cannot control it anymore. Okay, you can control how you feel. You can control what you do, but you can't control the situation if it involves other people. It's like the divine is saying, it's time for this to die. It's time for this to end. It's time for you to transform. Okay? And why? Because you're stressed out. 9 of Swords. What else? 3 of Swords. 3 of Swords came out in reverse. It's time for you to get out of the energy of feeling this heart pain, the Lovers, this heartbreak, okay? It's not serving you anymore. I feel called to get one of these. I don't even think I have the book here, but let's see what comes out. I haven't given anyone else a closing message, but I feel like I heard you deserve one. We have wind here, change. We have transformation with pressure. Okay, the divine is pressuring you right now to change, to let transformation happen. Groundedness, gravity. Ground yourself in reality of the present moment. And that's what I said, right? It's like the dragonfly defies gravity. Didn't I say that? You can get out of this energy, and there's multiple ways to get out of it. But the best thing you can do for yourself is to introspect, but not to the point where you're isolating. It's to really make yourself comfortable in your surroundings. Like inside and outside. Got one more on that. A fiery climax approaches. And I think this is the Eight of Wands is here too, right? I think this is your change. Now, that's what it's saying. Okay, the Tower didn't come out here because the Tower's not here yet. But there is pressure for change, gravity. Think about with the Tower falling. The divine wants you to transform so that you can connect to a higher frequency. If you couldn't connect, or if you didn't deserve, whatever that means, if you weren't meant to connect to a higher frequency, well, you'd just be stuck. These messages wouldn't be coming through. But the divine really wants to say, you need to make that change. You need to initiate this. I'm putting pressure on you. I'm making it so difficult and anxiety producing for you. Okay, there's no letting up of this energy because I'm putting, it might feel like the gravity, the pressure of this energy, because I need you to change. Spirit is saying, I need you to end this. I need you to change so that you can see your strength. It's like Source doesn't even want to throw in a tower because it's you that needs to do it. And take responsibility for that change too. And not say, oh, well, this all happened because, whatever, a Tower moment. Woo, that was a difficult one, but know that I love you so much, okay? And that we've all been here, or we're all going here at one point or another. I'll see you next time.